You do it this time.
Okay. Hi, everybody. What's up? Welcome to Nerd Rant. My name is JJK Junior Wolf, and this is my co-host,
Dr. Zombrain, also named Seth, and to spice it up, instead of opening a bottle of soda, I got a root beer floated in an anime mug.
All right, that's intriguing. I'm kind of jealous. But, anyways.
That's why I have the fuzz. It's the fuzz from the root beer.
Oh. No, I don't have anything
I said I was eating fuzz
today.
before I started. Out of no context, knowing I was going to say that.
Yeah, no, I literally have nothing right now. I have no drink. I have no snack. I have nothing. I'm depressed.
That's unfortunate. By the
Yeah.
way, what'd you think of the images thing?
You threw away your fridge.
I
Why?
don't know. I don't want it anymore.
You could have sold that for like $50, YG.
Do people really spend that much for cardboard?
It's just the box.
Yeah.
Bruh. Sigh. Anyways, that is not today's topic.
Did you want to say what you were talking about, though? Because they're probably really confused.
He sent me a picture of, he has a Xbox, the Series X mini fridge. He sent me a picture of the box in a bin
recycling.
outside, and I'm like, all right then.
Because I know you want it.
Yeah, no, I kind of want one.
Anyway, what are we talking about today, Jen?
Today we're going to be talking about Hytale.
So, hold up. Before we actually get into Hytale, because it's been a little bit of time, maybe we should talk about what Hytale is.
It has not been a little bit of time. You kidding? It only started in 2018. That was like a year ago. It's been 6 years.
Oh my word. So do you want to maybe start with what it is?
Yeah. So Hytale is the brainchild of the people behind Hypixel, the Minecraft server. They basically said, we want to come together and make our vision of what a perfect, balance of creative game, community, and adventure could be. These are people that grew up playing games like, what's a good example? I didn't play these games. RuneScape. There we go. That's a good one.
I'm
like RuneScape.
What type of game? We're talking about Minecraft? Because yes.
Yeah, no, they grew up playing games like RuneScape, but they also, are actively developing, a Minecraft server where you have mini games, but it's also, a creative kind of game.
This didn't happen at the time, but I want people to realize just how big the studio is. And there's another thing I want to mention how big it is later. But Hypixel is probably the only large server anymore. Because my Hyplex, that had a whole bunch of drama, that died out. And what other big Minecraft server do you know that a lot, not that's popular in the fact of content, like 2B2T, but actual player count? What is a big one that has also been around for a while?
The Hive?
Maybe? I don't think it's that popular. I don't think they have that kind of player count compared to 100,000 that Hypixel consistently has. So they're a big studio for Minecraft.
But basically, they sent off a small team to start creating this game that had 3 core aspects. One, they wanted it to be a creative game in the same vein as Minecraft or heck, even something like Ark, They wanted it to have that creative aspect that players could come in and make whatever they want and build their vision. 2, they wanted to have a multiplayer experience like they do in Hypixel. They want people to log on to servers, play with their friends, engage in mini games, and have those same players create the mini games that they'll be playing. So, you'll be able to host your own servers as well. And then the third and final one was they wanted to create a RPG creative experience. I think the closest thing to compare it to would be a mix between Ark and Terraria. I think, and that's
honestly, just
kind of an
Terraria
odd
itself,
combination.
Terraria is kind of like an RPG.
Yeah, but it's a little different because it's not open world and
but it's more 3D
yeah.
So that's a good comparison.
Yeah, it's a mix between those two kinds of things, and obviously the visuals are heavily inspired by Minecraft, but you can very much tell that it is not just some Minecraft clone.
Yeah. So where do we want to start? So the reason we're bringing this up is because the other week we were trying to think of some ideas, and I'm like, Hytale.
Yeah, good job. You found the name of the game that we are literally talking about as the episode today.
Hytale. And I said that as a joke because I've said this multiple times as a joke. But I'm like, you know what? Actually, I haven't checked out the blog post ever after like the first one. Like, let's actually scroll back because I'm on the website right now with the blog post, and let's scroll down. And the last one I checked out was the World Gen, January 4th, 2019.
The World Gen, bruh?
The World Gen introduction.
Bruh.
Because I'm like, oh, I'll just wait for the beta.
That's a funny story. 6 years later, we have nothing.
So I figured, you know what? Let's see. Actually, so I don't know what you did. I watched a video or two, and I kind of went through cherry picking, and I read a handful of the blog posts, figured some stuff out, and we're gonna go on that. Go some updates.
I did a very much more in-depth kind of delve here. I looked at some of the core blog posts, the ones that they reference in some of their other blog posts. I watched some of the videos that are up on YouTube from them and Riot, and then I also delved into the Twitter community and Reddit community to see what kind of questions were floating around and what the devs themselves were saying in reply to questions.
That's why I wanted to. I just got too busy this week. So I wanted to at least do something. So I did read a lot of their blog.
Bro, I did that in the past 3 hours.
Nice.
I have a very loaded notepad here of different notes and things to bring up. So, where do we want to start?
The problem.
Which problem?
So I watched the trailer, right? And let's look at what was in the trailer for what would, let's say, expected at launch. Because I think that is one of the biggest problems on why we still do not have at least a beta of this game. They took too much on for a release.
Okay, well, here's my thing, though, real quick. I do want to mention that there was a dev that worked on Hytale for a long time that, I don't know if he left or got fired or what, but he is no longer part of them, and his NDA is up, so he can talk about what he did when he worked there. And he said that when that trailer came out, they technically had a nearly finished game. Like, it was a playable product that they could engage with and everything. And then he left, and, they released the trailer, and something happened. And we don't exactly know what. It's possible that for that time they were working on live features and stuff like that, trying to get those perfected. But it's when it hit, 2020 that's where things got difficult. Obviously, COVID was during that time, but more so than that, they
something
not
else
only
happened
got
than just COVID. Let's be real. That.
Yeah.
Yes, that might have done something, but something happened.
There are two major things. One is the one that most people know about by now, is that they got acquired by Riot. Riot full-on purchased Hypixel Studios, and they are now working on Hytale. With Riot's resources.
That's what I was kind of referring to. Why I said they're a lot bigger, because that's what I was going to mention. They got bought up by Riot. And I do want to quickly mention with Riot is I don't know if you saw, apparently some people at Riot got laid off. Hytale is fine. No one from Hytale was affected.
Yes, and that
the
is
Hytale team.
Mainly because they are still functioning as a separate unit.
Yeah,
while Riot owns them, all of the employees and everything are still under the label of Hypixel Studios, and Riot really doesn't have the jurisdiction to fire them completely. So
just want to mention that because it's like, hey, that's a whole other thing. So if you've heard about that and we just mentioned Riot, don't worry. Hytale's fine. Hypixel's fine. For that there's some other problems, but with that problem that's just happened very recently, they're good.
Yeah, and then the other thing that happened is they decided to, the idea of being able to release it on multiple platforms at launch, they switched the coding software what's the word? The coding, not engine. Language, the coding language. There we go. I got it. The coding language that they are coding with, and they're developing their own engine inside of that. So I believe they switched from Java to C++. So I'm not a coder. I don't exactly know what that entails, but I do know that it is much easier to use that over multiple platforms than it is to use Java over multiple platforms. Hence the different Minecraft versions right now.
Because I do think Java's better, but you look at mobile, right? That doesn't really run Java well. That is why C++ is what was used originally for Bedrock Edition, or I should say PE Edition.
Yeah. Which I do want to note that they have expressed the fact that there will be a mobile port of this game.
Okay, that's cool. But yeah, so what I was originally going to say with the problem, before I realized that apparently it was done, is it's just kind of crazy. Look at the trailer, and it's pretty much everything that we are even getting later with Fortnite. Not at the release of the trailer, but like what we just got with UEFN. They wanted at launch, like a full scripting, live scripting, multiplayer where you can play full-on YouTube videos in-game. Like, that seems like a lot for a small-ish studio at launch.
And I will say, like, it does seem like this was a small team that, even if they did have a finished game, I don't think they were anticipating the response they were. Apparently, they had a couple million beta signups in, like, the first few days.
I know, that was
which is insane. So, you know, it's not a shock to say that they might have stepped back for a second and said, okay, let's make sure this is perfect, because with how many people are watching, we don't want to screw this up.
And I do want to say, I know we talk about Epic Games being a good yes, we do say when they mess up and they have some problems, but we generally say Epic Games is a really good studio. And I don't think we talk about Riot pretty much ever, but I do want to say from the videos that I did see, I'm happy with how Riot has handled this and how they have not advertised Hytale at all because it's not ready. Like, they let Hypixel Studios do their thing and not be like, hey, here's our game coming out, but we don't have anything, so...
Yeah, no, I absolutely agree. Like, this is not something they should be advertising at all right now, because they literally... I think, as the developer mentioned on Twitter, I think he was the head creative, I think? Don't quote me, but he said on Twitter that, you know, they are trying their best to get a version that they can share again. Like, as you've seen before, we have, like, different gameplay snippets and, you know, actual videos of the game itself and in-engine footage, stuff like that. But right now, with, you know, them developing it in the new engine, we don't have a ready version of that engine yet to record gameplay in. And they said their goal is to make that happen within the first half of this year. So we're going to have to see whether or not that comes to fruition or not. But if it does, then it's very much foreseeable that we will have, you know, internal playtests, granted, within, you know, 2024.
Yeah, because I know with the recent blog post, because there was a year gap, right? 2022, I think it was, that there's only one blog post. And they were talking about that, and it looked like around the end of 2021, early 2022 is when they really decided, hey, this isn't enough, and that's when they decided to make the engine and do a big transition. So I still don't know what happened from 2018 to 2021. There were some updates, but there definitely was a while. But then around 2021 to 2022, around that time is when they decided to do this, and obviously, when you're making using a whole new coding language, and also not just that, but making a whole new engine, they're practically making a new game, like from scratch. Like, yes, we have the idea, but they're restarting it. Actually, one of them I saw, I forget which blog post, they even had one of those original monsters, and they even have a redesign of that, because at this point, it's been almost over 5 years. Even designs of things are changing, so it is just kind of in a weird state, because they want to finish it, but they're making a new game. But while they're making a new game, let's change some stuff.
Yeah,
which is adding more time.
They said in the most recent blog post that they are working on getting every employee worked over to that new engine, like beginning of this year. So let's hope that, you know, things progress in that fashion rather than, you know, still using the old software.
So yeah, I do see. Hopefully, because obviously that explains why maybe the last year or so there's been a little bit less blog posts, because they haven't been able to make any progress because they're relearning a whole new thing. So now that we're getting at that point and we're getting some past this transition point, hopefully we'll see some more updates and some other information and some release dates. That's a joke.
Yeah, no. At the very least, we'll get a roadmap by the end of this year.
Yeah, which... honestly, I think, now that I know this, I hope we can get... And I think it's going to be cool, too, right, with seeing, like, Fortnite with Unreal Engine, having your own creative, like, tool. it'd be really cool when this eventually drops to see what it can do for the public, especially depending on it. Because I'm still waiting on Unreal Engine, Unreal Editor to come to console. Because I thought it was going to come to console. It's still not on console. Can I make games like that, like through scripting on my PlayStation?
Yeah, I mean, that's a really good question.
I really love that if they could.
They expressed before that PC will be their main focus. Like, it will have the most features just because PC is the most easily accessible to those features.
Like Java, right? Java is better. So obviously it's going to have different things for coding, but it's not accessible on everything.
But they did also express that they wanted the most amount of people to be able to express their creativity in that way. So I would not at all be surprised if they brought some of the features, at least, to probably consoles. I probably don't see it coming to mobile because I don't think mobile could handle that. However, I see some like creative features, maybe some mob designing or something like that to come to other platforms other than PC.
Kind of like those add-on apps for Minecraft, but maybe on console. But yeah, because I would love that, because like I legitimately am waiting for that for Fortnite. Like I want that because I was really looking forward to that, and here we are months. Now, obviously, yes, there's been some delay because of the break, but I'm still waiting for that. But if this game drops, Hytale drops, and we get that at launch, that's gonna be huge, and I'm gonna be very excited about that.
Yeah, no, that'll be honestly game changing in terms of like, you know, the creative world out there, and I'm very trusting with the people behind it as well, because keep in mind, all of the people that are working on this are literally modders. They grew up making mods for things, you know, so they know what features you need in a good mod software. They know what accessibility you're going to need for people to be able to apply it to games, you know. So
go ahead.
They are the best people to have behind this, because you know that they are going to use their experience to be able to help us get the best experience out there.
Yeah. And with seeing Riot like not be super right there, and so clearly we can kind of tell that they're not controlled by like a big organization like Activision with like Call of Duty developers, and with the fact that they've done like, I don't know, did you see if they continue that weekly? I know I saw one that they said they're going to do weekly like snapshots on social media. Did you see if they kept that up pretty regularly?
Weekly for what?
Like, so they said we're not going to be doing these blog posts as much, but they said on their social media they're going to do like a weekly snapshot of the world with some progress or something every week. I haven't
seen anything yet, but I did see the creative director say that was his hope. Maybe like give progress on their milestones, because internally they have like a kind of like a roadmap, but like different milestones they want to hit to make sure that they are still on track for whatever idea they have in their minds.
Yeah.
But they said that without spoiling anything, they want to keep us updated on if they hit those milestones and what that means, what comes next, stuff like that.
But then even in the blog post, they have some high like people in like the command chain doing these blog posts, like these leads and developers. So we very much can tell that this is going to be a good studio. This isn't going to be like some corrupt like EA or something. Like this is going to be a people studio. Just smaller.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I agree. I have a lot of trust in these people. Still sucks, though, that it's taking so long.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the community is still well behind it, I will say. Like, granted, there are positive. Most people who are like, oh, that's right, that's a game that's coming out. I forgot about that.
I told Jaden that that's what we were doing, and I don't know if he ever checked it out, but if he did know what it was.
Yeah, no, it's very much drowned in the
time.
Like they announced it a little early, I think, but like, I mean, I can't really blame them if they did have a playable version when they did, but that's besides the point.
Like I said, they're practically making a new game. At the launch, I don't think they expected to have to restart and learning a whole new coding language for their entire team or get bought out by Riot.
No, essentially they're probably going to have to almost re-announce the game once it's more ready, you know, like maybe once the beta is ready, they're going to have to push it again, not only on the Hypixel server, but on YouTube, pay for advertisement, maybe Riot could help out. Like, there has to be some sort of, like, re-ignition within the fan base to try and bring people back, because a lot of people have forgotten.
I can see just another trailer, because, well, let's pull it up. How many likes do you think the trailer has? And views?
I think, like, 60 million views?
So let's see, we're on the channel. So we're at 60 million views. Shut up. And 628,000 likes, which is solid. So,
Yeah.
And do you know what? Do you remember when the trailer dropped? Because I remember not hearing anything, waking up one weekend, and just, here's a new game trailer, pulling up the blog post on the website, I'm like, whoa.
Yeah, no, I can't remember who it was that told me about it, but I was playing Hypixel with somebody at that time, and they were like, yo, this trailer just dropped. And I was like, oh, cool. And I can view it from the server? Oh, cool. So I did that, and I was like, holy crap, this like genuinely looks like the next Minecraft.
Yeah, so it's crazy, but I can see them at minimum, just a trailer with the new engine, because like I was saying earlier, they're redesigning basic mob designs, so I can see just a generally just new trailer with like the new server that they're gonna, like the first server that maybe they're gonna run, because Minecraft doesn't have any servers, right? Like there's no official Minecraft. I see them at least having some basic Hypixel server on Hytale. So maybe when that's fully set up and a map is created, maybe when they're showing off the multiplayer part of it, they'll show that, you know. So I can just see a trailer like what he already got with maybe the new boss or something, like all these redesigns. Which I do eventually, once we talk about some updates, I want to end by just quickly like rewatching the trailer. And I want to go through some points, since we haven't talked about it and we haven't really thought about it. Just kind of go through the gameplay parts of it, like the animations, the combat, and just kind of talk about that for the second half. But yeah,
anyways, we can probably talk about the game now.
Yeah, probably. Customization. What do you see about that? Because I saw a few things.
I literally have on my notes here that customization is absolutely insane. I saw there's like a 3-second clip in the trailer where they fan through like all these different customization options. You can see there's different tabs for like shirts, hats, faces, shoes, like all these different customization factors. And then on top of that, gear is apparently going to be dynamic as well. So like if I equip a chest plate or, you know, gauntlets or something like that, you'll see it appear on the character. I don't know if there's going to be a transmog, but there will probably be like dyes and stuff like that. Ooh, but it looks absolutely insane. Yeah. And even lore-wise, like your character is called an avatar and they are apparently shapeshifters. So, you know, looks pretty insane. You'll be able to be like different species and different colors. You'll be able to change actively, so it's not like you're locked into it.
That looks awesome.
Yeah, no, it sounds absolutely insane. I hope there's some sort of transmogs that, you know, even if I find a chest plate that has better stats or something, I can still, you know, make it look the way I want.
I could see that, but honestly, I could also just see a cosmetic kind of like Terraria, just a cosmetic slot.
Yeah, I can see that.
Like instead of like you keep your main set, like, you know, the solar flare, right? That's the best melee, but you want to have the cool hollow mask. I can see you just being able to put that on. And it doesn't have to be cosmetic either, like vanity. I can see you putting any helmet in the helmet slot for the visual part.
Yeah.
I don't know about color, but it seems like it, because I saw a lot of stuff you can just blatantly change the color. Like, here's a shirt, you can just change the color of the shirt. So I wouldn't be surprised if you can do something, because it does look like I saw an anvil, so it looks like we're going to get a lot of, like, those types of stations. Yeah. So I can totally see something like that.
And here's the question, though. Will that be done from, like, purely a station, or will you have a menu for some of that? Like, obviously, you're going to equip gear in a menu, but, like, well, changing that gear or upgrading that gear, could you do that from, like, a menu so you don't have to bring an NPC along? Do you have to find, like, a specific town that has this NPC to be able to do it?
I see what you mean. What I would like is crafting stations, not the menus. This feels more like a Minecraft, right, where you're running around, and I wouldn't want my menu to be cluttered with all this stuff, especially if there's so many different types of gear, like gauntlets, not just a basic armor set, like helmet, chestplate, pants, but like gauntlets and all these different types of gear and different types of weapons. And we saw a staff, there's going to be some kind of magic. So who knows what the gear for magic's going to be? Can I put a ring on to increase my mana? So there's going to be a lot of gear. I don't want my inventory to be cluttered with color options too.
Yeah.
So I would want that, and I wouldn't want. Did you see a lot for NPCs doing stuff, or are they just going to be like villager NPCs from Minecraft? Because
I mean, from what I heard, it's going to be an RPG experience. So there will probably be like side quests you can accept and different things you can do for NPCs, maybe gaining currency or, have these NPCs do things for you around the village, kind of like in Lego Fortnite, Like,
Okay.
these NPCs are probably going to be much more important than Minecraft NPCs are as of now.
But did you see anything about them being like stations that you like have to go to that character and do something?
I mean, not really. I'd have to rewatch the trailer to see if there's anything like that in it, but
I didn't see
I don't know.
like that in the trailer.
I mean, the other thing is, though, how many of those in the trailer were NPCs and how many were players? Like, we don't know because the
that's the
NPCs look just like players.
But even then, they're also changing the game so much. So who knows what 5 years ago the idea was versus now. 'Cause clearly, there's also a whole lot more lore and thought into the story of this game. Like, we have a whole planet and there's a galaxy that they created that, like, other worlds are like... So there's a whole thing. So who knows what has changed since then.
Yeah.
Which I'm excited to see what it is, eventually.
I think as of now, it's just like, we are an avatar who has come to a world that lost its avatar mysteriously, and we have to find out why by unraveling the mysteries. I imagine it'll be some sort of like, kind of like an Ender Dragon hunt where you gotta, explore the world, find different things, craft different things until you eventually end up at the point where you beat the final boss,
Yeah, and I'm excited to see the progression of the game, because like we saw there's different like worlds, right? Like I'm trying to check out this World Jam. What specifically? Zone 1, right? Zone 1 wildlife. So if we're gonna have zones like that, I'm wondering how that's gonna go. Like, because we saw that one boss, like that's or big root type thing, mini boss, whatever it is, in the trailer. Or we're gonna have like different ones and stations and progress, kind of like maybe Lego Fortnite 2, right? Where you go to the desert and there's a desert boss and you get the desert gear and then you use that to fight the snow boss. Is that like what these zones are? Or are they just like, hey, here's just a forest, but here's a snow biome? Is that what zone 1 is? Or is it the first zone? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, they
the
said
progression
before
level.
in one of the blog posts that they have an idea of progression that they want to go for. They don't want it to be like a completely randomized world like Minecraft. They're building it in a way that it will be different every world you generate, but it will still have the same feel. So I imagine that'll be more a case of you pick which biome you spawn in, but there will be like a guaranteed this, and this biome around you, So
maybe like you're always going to get stone off the bat, but the type of stone, maybe you're going to have snow stone versus forest stone.
Yeah, which will do different things. Maybe they're susceptible to different kinds of magic or something like that,
Yeah. No, I'm excited to see the magic system.
Oh, absolutely.
Because we talk about this all the time. Minecraft is cool, but I want another type of combat, like magic. I think that would be so well, and that would fit the theme, right? Like when it's like a gun. Like we know we're not getting done with Minecraft, but something like magic would fit so well. And with how this game already is, with the combat, with the story and everything, magic would just fit, and it looks awesome from what we have already seen.
Yeah, no, they've done some different like demos of different VFX of magic in some of the blog posts, and oh my gosh, they look amazing. Like, it's like, imagine like Terraria VFX, but in 3D and with more frames. It looks awesome.
But in almost every game, magic is generally my favorite.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Apart from Summoner.
I always
honestly,
go...
Summoner is my favorite. That's why I like Necromancer in Diablo 3, because I summon all the things, and Summoner is my favorite in Terraria. But it still has that magic feel to it.
I always go with like mage classes and stuff because I like the flashy kind of combat, and magic always has that bright color and
Fireball!
Visual effects, stuff like that. So
yeah, no. So I'm really excited to see how this goes. Which again, we don't know that much. Even if we know more than the normal person who hasn't kept up, they haven't exactly given us a lot.
Yeah,
I don't know what you saw because you know more than me because I just saw the official blog post on the website. But I'm guessing it's still not that much.
Yeah, no, we have seen some spells being cast, in the trailer. We've had some demos of certain effects that will be the result of spells, but we haven't directly seen like a magic system. We haven't, in that same vein, we haven't seen a tool system, really a combat system. We know there are different types of weapons, and we had one clip from a Riot showcase of a battle between somebody with a warhammer and somebody with daggers. We got to see some moves there and stuff like that, but apart from that, we know nothing about combat.
Yeah, and then obviously in the trailer we did see that there is the guy was fighting, and it looked like he had a shield and a sword, I think it was. So it looks like we will have dual wield. Here, let me pull up the trailer. So yeah, he has a shield and a sword, first person bashing, fighting the goblin that has an axe. So it looks like it's gonna be like more like a war axe. And then we go to our character riding a ram with a flaming sword. So we know that it's going to be a lot more in depth in Minecraft. We don't see anything in this offhand, but it looks like even gear could be like elemental.
Yeah, I mean, and here's the question. Will it be a situation where you're the one enchanting it, or are these like mythical items that you have to find in like dungeons or stuff like that?
Yeah, we'll see. We don't know. But yeah, bro, what it's kind of reminded me, like, we're going to have weapons, right? We have daggers, but I'm wondering, are we going to have like the golden weapons from Ninjago, where we have the sword, but then we have the fire sword, we have the shurikens, but we have the ice shurikens. Like, is this just a fire sword, or maybe, what if they put fire aspect on the sword and that's what makes it flaming?
Yeah, I mean, I could very much see that, dynamic enchantments and stuff like that.
Because again, we got to realize that this is heavily based off Minecraft. So and stuff that Minecraft does isn't necessarily original, but it's done the Minecraft way. So like enchantments, Minecraft didn't make enchantments. So they could easily take that idea of even like using some kind of magic system to put enchantments on like Minecraft with the enchantment table. But if they make the sword itself flaming, it's very much done the Hytale way. So I would not mind that. Again, we don't know. We're just theorizing what we've seen and what we do know in the pictures and stuff. So with all the VFX and stuff, that's why I'm thinking maybe you can choose that. Because if you want customization, what if you just if you want a flaming sword, enchant it with this and you get your flaming sword. And if you don't want a flaming sword, don't put fire aspect on.
Have you seen some of the ambient visual effects? I know there are a couple demos of it.
A little bit. I definitely saw a whole bunch of like just random, not fan art, like art.
Concept art.
Sketch, concept art, yeah. So I've seen a lot of that. Nothing too much on VFX.
They put out one video demo of like a dungeon with their enhanced VFX on, and dude, it looked so like eerie and cool. Just the
where
lighting.
Was
that? It was in one of the blog posts. I forget which one. It was one of the newer ones. But they basically there were like green fire torches on the left and like smoke, like green fog smoke across the ground. And, the webs and stuff in there were waving, and it looked so eerie and so great. And I absolutely cannot wait to see like just how far they're going to go with that kind of visual effect. Because like obviously you have your typical like flaming sword or like your lighting, your moving bushes. But the stuff like, biome specific VFX and like the fire VFX and like what if I'm entering a dungeon that has skeletons in it, does that like change the look of, the air around me, like stuff like that.
Yeah. Out of the few like random things, they have like a health bar and a loading bar for animations that they've shown.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to look through the current ones, like images, because there has been a lot.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, I found it. So let's check this out. Wow, dude, the sparks on the green, like, cauldron fire.
Right? It looks freaking awesome.
I see what you mean. Dude, the fog looks insane.
It does.
And
it freaking
eerie.
Does.
It is so... That totally looks like the crypt from, like, a Diablo game or something.
Absolutely, yeah.
But Minecraft.
Dude. And like even the vines waving and like the slight draft that's coming through.
This is getting me so hype again, and I hate that because who knows when we're getting this.
Yeah, no, it's probably gonna be a while. I think they said in that most recent one that, or no, it might have been the one before, that the engine change did set back their timeline because they had previously said at earliest they'd have a beta by the end of 2023. But obviously that's not happening. So I could see at the very earliest, maybe middle of next year, we could have one. But like as of now, I definitely don't see us getting anything really playable to the public this year at all. Because, they're still perfecting that engine.
I think
So-
what we can see though is maybe just with the pacing and the fact that they want to make it so perfect, I could see next year not an open beta, but either an alpha or a private beta, where they handpick like 1,000 people.
I mean,
Because
I know
an
for a
open
fact
beta,
that they
that's
already
still going to
did.
be hundreds of thousands of people.
They already did one internal playtest. Like, they sent it to a person that they literally pay to critique the game, and that went well. You know, I think that's where they tested out some more combat stuff and things like that, and they got some notes on where to go from there. And so that is a really good sign. That means they had a version to give that person, whether it be on the old engine or new engine, and they were looking for notes to help perfect it. That means they had something to go off. So looking forward, I could see them trying that out with more people in this next coming year, hopefully with the new engine as well.
Yeah, I'll call that like maybe at the point where they have another solid full game like they used to do on the new engine. I would say that's like maybe whether that be them like internally like paying people, or they handpick like and send it to like 1,000 people to play test and stream and stuff. And I could even see them handpicking some content creators, right? Like imagine sending this specifically to Dan TDM. He stream it, he play it, people give their thoughts on it and his comments and stuff, and just handpicking it. Because imagine you only have to give it to 5 people, right? Like Captain Sparkles, Dan TDM, right? There's 2 people, but how much like input would you get? Thousands.
Yeah.
For sending it to 2 people. So I can see that happening this year, or with the new engine, maybe next year. I could see that happening. Once we give them a few months of that, the following release would be an open beta. That's what I see with what they've done already. That's what I would see, and I would think of their roadmap.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Which, if it's a private beta, can I do it?
Yeah. Yeah.
No, I would love. I'm really excited though. Like this game, originally at launch, was really exciting, and I'm still excited. It's just up till now, I've kind of lost that because it's been 5 years. Now I'm looking at the new stuff, what it's gonna look like, and I'm like, and even the other day I tried to open Minecraft because I just wasn't vibing with Fortnite like this season, and I just kind of want to play by myself, not really go crazy like in Diablo, just kind of chill. And I want to play Minecraft. I'm like, I played for like 5 minutes. I'm like, this is boring.
Yeah.
Because unless I play with like a good bit of people, I don't like playing Minecraft. And Terraria is just a whole thing. Like you can't really play because you gotta like, get to progression. Like if I play, I want to play till I beat the Cthulhu. You know, like. But this could be the next thing that I can play that I can like vibe with, where I can kind of play casually, but then also like play for like 10 hours straight. And I'm so excited because this is the game that I want. It's Minecraft with the magic system, but then Fortnite creative. Like, it is everything I love about these games put together with, I also want to say this again, with that cartoony art style. Because that's one reason why I like Fortnite and Minecraft and Terraria versus these other games that are like that have this more realistic aspect.
Yeah. And honestly,
I don't want to wait another 6 years.
Right? I mean, I do want to bring up this question, and like you said, when it first came out, it was hugely hyped, but there was also the question going around of, if this game is successful, would it kill Minecraft?
You're bringing that question up, which is a valid question. If at launch I said no, but then we see the last few years.
Yeah, Minecraft is going pretty downhill.
But yet, how are they?
I mean,
are they
financially as a studio? No, and they're constantly going to be getting new players because it's a really good game for little kids. You know, it's a great creative outlet for people and stuff like that. And I'm sure they're still making plenty of money because their sales really haven't gone down. However, interest in the older community has immensely gone down. You know, you see all these series like the Dream SMP, like they're just kind of like ending. Even if it, doesn't feel natural, or there was still some community interest in there, people just aren't having as much fun with it as they have in the past because there's not as much stuff to do, I mean, with, all these mods people are adding, you're still running out of interest in your base game.
Hermitcraft. Look at Hermitcraft. We used to have long series, and now they have series that are like 20 episodes for a season. Like, they get shorter because they've done everything, and there's not a huge update that really changed the game.
Yeah.
And so I think it's going to do the same thing that happened to Fortnite. It's going to be dead on the internet and content creation, right? Like, Fortnite never really died. It's just the people that are streaming and content creation, that's what died. But there were still millions of people playing it. I mean, people are saying Fortnite died this past year, and we just had like 100 million people in 1 month. Is that dead, JJ?
No, it's just nobody
Is it dead
talks
right
about
now? It's just, exactly. And I think that's what happens with Minecraft. Yes, for us, especially the older audience, it's not super big, but like you look, the servers are still active. We still get more servers. You know, we have the collabs, right, with like Toy Story, like all these new movies and stuff with skin packs and customization. Still there. It's still big. It's still getting updated, and it's still on everything. It's just not vocal anymore. Even Minecon isn't as vocal. They're not vocal anymore. But it doesn't mean there's not quite literally millions of people. It is still... Actually, how many units do you think it sold for like
Minecraft?
most sold games of all time? Because it beat it. It was the number one sold game. It beat Tetris.
Yeah.
And I don't think it's necessarily stopped selling, because I bought a copy or two for my other devices or versions or something since then.
Yeah, no, I think it's still going to go up. I just think that in the end, when a game comes out that completely overshadows it, like this game here, like this game has the potential to not only be a simple game, you know, taking the place of Minecraft, but also be a more complex game for those older players that lose interest pretty quickly.
Especially with the story, with a magic system, but then also having that creative aspect like UEFN with servers and stuff. And as of right now, like I Googled most sold game, and Minecraft's number one with 230 million copies sold. So it's very much keeps selling, because I remember it beating Tetris at 100 million.
Yeah.
And GTA 5, which is still a very popular game, is at 150 million. So it's very much keeps selling. But it's just vocal, right? It's just not as vocal anymore. And I don't think that's going to change anytime soon, unless we get a big update like the Nether update, or we get a multiplayer update. Which honestly, I know we're not talking about Minecraft, but what if that's an update that we get eventually? I know we're asking for the end to get like revamped like the Nether, and we want a new dimension with the underground portal thing. What if we get like a multiplayer update? Kind of like Realms, because we kind of got that already, but let's make it like better and adding like Minecraft support for servers.
Yeah, I mean, I could see it.
Just something. Or like a co-op mode, which isn't like a multiplayer like what we got, like, but a proper like co-op mode or something. I don't know. Just something.
Yeah.
But clearly, as you can tell, like just right there, we're struggling trying to think, because we have updates and the community has updates. They're just not doing it. In fact, I saw this one guy saying, do you think Minecraft should add vertical slabs?
Yeah.
Do you think they're going to?
No.
Do you know why?
Why?
They said it hinders creativity. So Minecraft is the game that says they don't want to add stairs because you should be creative with your stairs, which like works to a point, to a certain degree. Well, like, I'm sorry, I do not think forcing me to place some signs on a staircase or throw a minecart in my office is hindering or more creative than just letting me place a stair down and being able to put like a computer down. Like I keep seeing this ad for like a mod, and we put like a little coffee pot, and we put a little router and a mouse next to our little laptop with our office chair or our desk. Is that, like, yes, that's more modded, right? It's very much more like complex designs, but like that's what we want. And if you don't want that, guess what? You can do it the other way with like walls and glass and stuff. Like you can very much do it the other way if you want to be super detailed. But like, say, like I'm thinking, if we can combine vertical slabs, like imagine we could do that. And on my outside of my house, I want a wooden house, but on the inside, I want a brick house.
Yeah.
Is that really hindering creativity? No, it's going to give us more creativity because we can get down to half blocks, and imagine we got quarter blocks. That's only going to do more than less. by millions.
Absolutely.
And that's the type of thing I can see Hytale doing.
Yeah,
Maybe
and
we don't
even in
know
the trailer,
building,
like if we
but
look at, there's a shot where they're building the roof of a house, right? And from what we can see, it's in funky little sections. I think it's like half the size of a block is this roof tile, but it's like 2 blocks long almost, and he's just placing them along, and it's a really interesting way to shape that. I don't know if he's like using an extra building feature or something, or if that's just how that block is shaped. But if that is, then that really makes it more of an intriguing design, because, you know, what if we can double up sizes of blocks or have the sizes of blocks? That way we can be more detailed in what we're trying to build, right?
Kind of like, I remember in Fortnite, I know you definitely have not messed around with Fortnite Creative, but you can actually change the tile size. So you can make it like just 1, you can make it 4, 8, 16, 32, how like strict you want that to like snap onto a grid.
Yeah, and that'd be really cool if we could do something like that, because it would not only speed up building, but it would also make it, you know, more efficient in the long run.
Yeah, I'm watching the trailer right now. So we got we see the guy like hammering a sword, and I'm wondering if that's like the normal anvil, or is that how you add enchantments? Do you have to make it kind of like Terraria, right? You don't just use everything in a crafting table, but you have to use an anvil to make your swords, and then you use a furnace to make your ores, right? Like, I'm wondering how complex and how many tools we're gonna have, or not tools, like crafting stations. Like Terraria, you have like 50 different ones. I'm also excited to see a lot of these zones. I'm watching the trailer while talking. Do you remember the bug one, like the beast worm? That looked awesome.
Absolutely.
So yeah, we're fighting this goblin, and the enemies also look really cool, right? So we have the little town evolving. We have the flaming sword. And actually, I just remembered, did you see the current Minecraft snapshot that happened the last few weeks?
No.
So remember the trial spawner, like the trial chambers? We actually have a key that you can get sometimes, and now we have a feature for that. You can use that and you can drop loot, and it's on like a 20-minute cooldown. But compared to a chest, that's per player. So if you can get like 3 keys, that each player can choose their loot. Like each player can open it. Which is, I mentioned that because I just remember that when I was just talking about the co-op, kind of like that. But the reason I say that is there was a scene where they're fighting and doing a dungeon. We see the fire cast, like the fire staff. But then we see another guy using like, I don't know what it's called, but like a club type of thing.
A mace.
Like it's a mace, yeah. Big mace. And then they're both going opening the chest. And that's what I'm thinking, you know, like, is it going to be, because I think a lot of games deal with this, right? Either it's a problem or there's options where it's one set of loot or it's per player. Like, you know, because you could either have one big chest and you split it in like, hey, do you want this or should I take this? Or you're the only person that can see the item.
Yeah.
I'm letting you answer that because you play more games, so you would see that.
Yeah, I think in terms of this kind of game, it'd be hard to do a, like, you're the only player that could see it, because, you know, it's a multiplayer creative game. You know, you need to be able to share loot with each other, and if I open a chest and don't see what the other person put in the chest, that's just difficult. But I do see it being a case like, I unlock the chest for me, there's loot in it, and I can share that with them or take it, and then they also get a turn to unlock the chest and they get different loot. Maybe it's something like that.
Ender chest, too?
Possibly, yeah. Yeah, I could see that.
Seeing something like that where we get our own little Google Drive as that classic Minecraft meme. You know, the chest is the physical thing. You have your flash drive, which is shulker box, and you have your Google Drive, which is your Ender chest.
Or maybe it changes the amount of loot in the chest depending on how many players are in the game.
Yeah, that's the other thing I was thinking. It's like either, we don't know, but I do think this is going to be important on the enjoyment of multiplayer in survival mode. Because if it's not done well, or it feels like there's a limited amount of loot, then that's going to make it hard. Like, obviously you have other aspects, like Minecraft, you can do a lot more than just exploring with people, because that's generally how it goes, right? Like, everybody explores on their own, like to go to a woodland mansion, but you're building and stuff like that with friends.
Yeah.
Whereas this feels more like an exploration type of thing that you do with friends, like defeating a dungeon.
Yeah.
So
you kind of have to do it as a group activity.
So if that's not good and the loop doesn't feel like it's dispersed well, that's gonna ruin it. But again, I do think and if they play stuff like RuneScape, I think I could trust them handling this well.
Yeah. And one thing I do quickly want to mention, because we are running out of time pretty soon, is the soundtracks in this game are crazy. Like, actually, like while I was doing all my research and stuff, I just queued up the playlist they have on their channel of just the different soundtracks they've released for the different game zones and enemies and stuff like that. And it's great. Like, I can English very well. I very much see this having potential of becoming like an iconic track, kind of like Minecraft's theme is like very iconic. I totally think this could be in the same vein if like enough people listen to it, and depending on where some of these tracks play, like if that has a menu theme or just the typical sitting around crafting things, you just hear that familiar tune kick in. Like, I very much could see this becoming something that is the defining song of an era of gamers.
Because I know I joked to you the other day, this feels like our GTA. Right, like with how long we've been waiting, but how anticipated it is as almost a sequel to something that's huge. Like GTA 5 is huge, and GTA 6 is the anticipated sequel. This is the anticipated sequel of Minecraft.
Yeah,
like honestly. So I'll listen to it later. I know I listened to like one song when it came out. I do not remember it. I knew it was good. Here's what I hope it's more like though than Minecraft. Minecraft has its songs. I want a Terraria-like soundtrack. And I know I've played a very limited amount of games, but I just love not only the soundtrack of Terraria, but how, like, we have the Eye of Cthulhu boss fight, but then we also have the snow music, right? Like, all the different soundtracks for that. Does that what it sounded like so far? Like, maybe does it sound like, oh, this has a different ambience for snow or corruption versus desert or jungle?
So far, it's kind of hard to tell because they're releasing, like, on track right now, they're releasing one piece of the soundtrack, one song of the soundtrack per update, per blog post, and as you can imagine, that's not a lot, so we don't have quite enough to go off of to say like whether or not it'll be just per area or if there's specific enemies or fight ones. But as of now, like off of their titles, we have like Traveling Band, Night on the Dunes, Quebec Village, A New Adventure, some different things that sound like they could be specific biomes, specific areas in those biomes. Because then we have like Ancient Tombs, which I imagine is like an ambience if you're in a tomb down in the desert. A world below, maybe like a cave soundtrack.
I just hope, because the only reason I'm saying that when I do play Minecraft, it's just sometimes there's no music, and then it just kicks in. Or I'm in a cave, and there's just nothing, and then I just hear the really random, like, screech, and then some creepy-ish music for a little bit. Whereas when I'm playing Terraria, as long as I'm in that biome, I am hearing the song. Yes, it's on loop, but I'm hearing the song, and I don't mind that. And I like Terraria so much more than almost every game I play when it has zones like that. I like the way Terraria and their songs themselves.
Yeah,
so I hope it's more like that.
Very much so. I almost always listen to music when I play games, but if the game has a good soundtrack, I will no doubt listen to that. And so if this is a similar case to Terraria where that music is always playing and it gives me a chance to become familiar with it in a way, then I very much am excited to see where they go with that.
And can I use it to cheese it and be like, oh, I hear the music starting. There's the biomes right below here.
Yeah.
No, like I very much hope it's like that. And with what we've seen with these updates, I think there's a good chance of that as well, versus just having some really random but iconic ambient noise like Minecraft.
Yeah.
Because yes, it's iconic, it's random. Anything else?
There's
like
one
5
last
minutes.
thing that I wanted to mention, and I don't know if you caught this in the trailer, but there was one moment closer to the end where it said you could watch videos and movies with your friends in the game, and I had to take a second and be like, pardon? Because even if you look at, similar things we have now, like Roblox or, Fortnite Creative or, stuff like that, you can't really watch videos like that in game. Unless it's like, you know, a file you downloaded and uploaded to the server and all that kind of stuff, which they didn't make it out to be in the trailer. It just kind of seemed like you could just watch videos. And so, like, how
Minecraft
does
web
that
browser
work?
mod.
I mean,
You know, there's a mod for that, right? For Minecraft, that's a web browser.
Yeah, I'd figure.
That's what I'm thinking. It might be like that, except it's just maybe limited to YouTube or Twitch. Because here's the thing, like, especially this was before, but now that they're partner with Riot, they can kind of use them to get some more access and partnerships with stuff like that. Whereas if you're a small studio and you want to do a partnership with YouTube and like play it straight in there, that might be a little harder. But now that you have Riot, you know, you can kind of do stuff like that.
But, you know, with, you know, those kind of experiences being present in game, this almost, and I really hate to say this, so much.
No.
I don't want to, but this could turn into its own kind of metaverse.
No!
Because if they're encouraging you to watch videos in a game, and this game also could have, you know, different, like, streaming inside of it. You could play games, you could learn, you could do all this kind of stuff inside the game. We are
JJ,
once upon a time telling the same story of guess who's making a metaverse.
So I'm on the scene right now, and we got a little play bar, we got a little volume bar, but then I also see like the TV where you like hit to like send it somewhere. So it looks like it might be connected, like maybe you have to connect it somewhere else, or you can open it like
a screencast.
Yeah, like open it on a web browser or something. But I also don't know if you realize that. Remember, there's also that whole part where you can make movies.
Yeah, no, like you could create, you know, full on like cinematic structured
with a freaking moving camera. Like,
yeah, no,
like it's
like
stupid,
straight up,
but amazing.
we're going to have actual productions made inside this game.
Bro, give this game like 5 years after launch, and we're not gonna have VRs made in it. We're gonna have a full-on Star Wars trilogy that's gonna have public showings on the whatever it's called server, and we're gonna have a whole movie theater with freaking recliners.
Like, imagine, dude.
No. Ready. You open Hytale up on your Quest 7, and you're watching the new Hytale movie. Freaking on the server.
Here's a random question idea. Do you see a world where people could charge $1 or $2 in their server to watch, like, a movie that they full-on produced in-game?
I wouldn't see it $1 or $2, but I can see it in-game currency for creator economy.
I mean, yeah.
Like, you know, like right now through Minecraft, like mine coins, like you got to pay $200 to access it, and then that's her ticket. You come to view it, or it's like right there. Maybe you don't buy the ticket ahead of time, but at the launch, you open up, you walk in before you enter the room, and then when you enter the room, you get teleported to the theater to make sure people can't like look in from the door or something, right? Like it's its own little server pocket thing.
Yeah, I mean,
bro, that's so stupid.
That's
it's amazing.
crazy.
Holy. Dude, and we even talk like how, like you said, like for modding, at launch, we're expected to have a lot of open modding and tools. And like, did you see like the scientist experimenting?
Yeah.
Instead of like doing like computer things, it's full on like code. Like he's creating this monster with just line scripting. Like, what is? That's why I was saying at the beginning that I think they should put on more than they can chew, because there's this stuff that we're still waiting on AAA titles like Epic Games years after launch, and they want it already.
Yeah.
But we'll see whether it's maybe it's easier once everyone learns on the new engine, because that definitely can add, kind of like how Apple, right? Like they make all the content that they do work because they have access to the engine itself, the software itself. Maybe it can be more efficient. But I don't know. But I'm gonna hope so, because if not, then it's gonna take even longer. But we'll update. I think maybe we can try to throw some updates in when we do like our yearly, not like end of the year, but like every once in a while we do the update. Maybe we can throw in a blog post if there's one.
Yeah.
But with that, want to end it off?
Maybe. I mean, we could, but, you know, why not keep our fans waiting like, you know, Hytale has been?
Yeah, but they should know where to follow us and where we are.
We're right here.
But we're nowhere. Just kidding. Follow us at Nerd Rant Podcast on Instagram and Twitter. Make
Yep,
sure you
and
hit the bell.
subscribe to the
Yep,
YouTube.
subscribe.
Yup.
And after this, I'm going to add a new channel on the Discord. Join the Discord. Bye.
Yeah, join the Discord. Bye.